Hi guys, welcome to episode 4 of Coffee and Chat with Tristin-Grace Rowell. For those of you who don't know, I'm Tristin-Grace and I'm 19 years old and I'm a wife and I also do content creation full time. I decided to start this podcast because I wanted to have a platform to be able to talk about the things that I go through and the things that I struggle with, and I already do that on my social media, but I wanted to have a platform like a podcast to be able to go a little bit deeper. So hi and welcome. I know that life can feel very hard and overwhelming, so I also just pray that this podcast serves as your reminder that you're not alone in what you go through. Today, let's talk about my life in these last few weeks because it's been a little bit crazy. But before that, let's talk about my coffee. I'm actually recording this for the second time this morning because the first time I recorded, it didn't pick up anything from my mic, and I didn't want to just look stupid holding my mic the whole time without any audio, so I'm just redoing it. But I'm drinking an iced vanilla latte, and then I made a homemade banana syrup. So I made a banana cold foam, but at this point it's already melted, but it's okay, it's still good. Grab your coffee or other drink of choice, get comfy, and let's chat. Technical difficulties. My father-in-law just arrived. For those of you who don't know, my husband Jackson and we've been married for a little bit over a year, and we grew up in South Carolina. He's lived there for 10 years, and then I grew up there my entire life. So we actually just recently moved to North Carolina, so it was definitely a big change for us. But we officially moved on July 1st, so it's almost been a full month. So that whole week beforehand was just spent with friends and family, just doing everything we can with people around us before we move. And then my husband Jackson has worked at our church for the last couple of years. Some of it was volunteer, but then he did this program called an apprenticeship. So that was from January to June. So, we were able to go to church one last time before moving, and we literally moved a week or two after the program ended. So it was perfect timing. It was God's timing. We left with full hearts, which was such a blessing, but it was also very bittersweet. On July 1st, Jackson's dad came to South Carolina with his truck and trailer, and we loaded everything up, and we ended up filling his truck, his trailer, and then both of our cars with all of our stuff, and somehow we fit it all. So that was nice, only having to take one trip. And we've been planning on moving for the last 6 or 7 months, but it didn't really hit me until we were driving here on the way. It just sort of hit me. And so that was a little bit hard just because I left my family, our community, all of our friends, all of that. It was definitely really hard, but at the same time we were excited. So it was happy and sad. It's definitely an odd feeling. I had Remy in my front seat with me the whole way here, and he was meowing the whole time. I don't think he liked the car. So hearing him cry just made me cry, and so we were both just crying, but it's okay. We're fine now. But if you can't tell, we're in our house right now. We ended up moving into a old farmhouse. It's over 100 years old, and so it's been really fun being able to decorate it, and just collect things that just fit the house so well. It already feels like home, even though it's only been a short time of us living here. It's just been so peaceful, and it literally is just so homey. But yeah, we love it. Whenever we arrived here, some of our friends and family were waiting for us here to help us unload. So we ended up being able to unload everything, and then we ended up unpacking a lot of stuff too in that one day. So that was such a blessing because we had so much help. And yeah, it was just so nice. And then that weekend was actually 4th of July weekend. So it was kind of a crazy week because we had just moved, and then we had a bunch of plans with our family because it was the 4th of July. But overall it was good, and with all of the help, it just made it easier to be able to settle in really quick. But yeah, that weekend we ended up going to the beach. We went out on Jackson's parents' boat and just spent the weekend with family. So that was really fun. And it was the perfect way to like adjust here. And then that whole next week, we just spent again like unpacking still and organizing things and just getting adjusted. And then also trying to work. For those of you who don't know, my husband Jackson does graphic design and web design full time. And then I do content creation full time. So we both work from home. I had a cleaning business back in South Carolina. I had that for about 2 years, but I left it in South Carolina when we moved, which means I'm basically a full-time content creator right now, which has been really fun and it's literally my dream job. But at the same time, since we both run our own businesses, it's like finances can just be like up and down, which can feel a little bit stressful at times, but we also know that God will always provide. So that just gives us some reassurance. But that doesn't mean we still don't stress, because we definitely do. But just knowing that He will provide and He already has provided, just like, I don't know, just allows us to have peace about it. And then that next weekend, we ended up going back to South Carolina because Jackson was serving at church summer camp at the church that we used to go to. So I dropped him off there, and then I ended up picking up my sisters and bringing them back with me to here, just to like spend the week with me since Jackson was gone. So that whole week we went to the beach, we hung out with my friends, we hung out with my in-laws, and then we also hung out with my sister-in-law. We made blueberry jam. We did a lot of different things, but it was really fun and it was such a good week. The thing about now that we moved is the time that we do have with my family and like our friends back in South Carolina. It just feels a lot more special and like, I don't know, it's like we're more intentional about it. And it's also such a blessing that South Carolina isn't too far from here, because it does allow us to go back and forth quite a bit. And then Jackson had a great time at camp. It's been really fun and cool just watching him serve and lead in that way. There's a lot of kids that have been impacted by how he leads and like how he serves, and it's just so cool to witness that as his wife. And yeah, but the next weekend, we went back to South Carolina so I could bring my sisters back and then also to pick up Jackson. And so I did that, and then I went to our apartment because we still have our apartment, or at least doesn't end until like the middle of August. So we've gone several times even though we have moved, because sometimes brands and like people will send us packages there, and so I went to like go check the mail. So I went to our door, and I'm not even joking, our door was completely knocked down. Like our door was on the ground, and so someone had broken in, and so I was like, what the heck? So I took a picture of it and then ran back to my car. And then I went to like a local park while I waited to get Jackson. And then once I got Jackson, we went back and we went in just to make sure no one was in there. And then we ended up talking with the lady at our office, like the apartment office. And then she put us in contact with the manager. And like they didn't really know what was going on either, but also our fridge and shower head was stolen. So it was like, was it maintenance? Like, we were actually like so confused. We ended up coming back to North Carolina later that night because we had our housewarming party the next day that we obviously had to be here for. So we were just waiting to hear back from our manager at the apartment. And we didn't really know what else to do. And so our housewarming party was really sweet and it was such a good time. It was just like our close family and friends. But we just felt so welcomed, and yeah, we are just so thankful for this community that we have here. They have made it just feel even more like home. This past week, we've just been waiting to hear back from our manager. We finally did, and then she put us in contact with her manager. So, like, the next step up. So, we're still waiting to hear back from them. But I've been making content about this. Like, I posted a few videos about how our apartment got broken into and everything. Not really expecting anything, but one of our neighbors saw that video and ended up reaching out to us. And so she told us the entire story about what happened, and she confirmed that someone did really break in. So we ended up filing a police report, and then we're going back to South Carolina in a couple of days. So we're planning on just going into our office and like talking with the people directly, and then hopefully getting money back, and then also just getting out of our lease early, because we just don't want to deal with this anymore. But it makes us feel better that we have a police report and also neighbors who witnessed the entire thing. But yeah, it's just like such a crazy thing that happened, and it's like you don't think anything like this can happen to you until it does, and then you're like, oh shoot, like what do I do now? But yeah, thankfully we have great neighbors. At the same time, with that being said, it's just been so stressful with just going back and forth with people at our apartment, like the office, and just trying to figure everything out. It's just like mentally draining and also like just truly stressful. But thankfully, I think we're able to like actually deal with it now. And also, we have a police report, so that just like makes us feel better, as well as like our neighbors. But it's just like, I do not recommend this. With doing social media full time, it's just been cool, with like the connections that I've had, or the opportunities that I've had. It's just crazy that my neighbor saw our video because she did not follow me, and like we are not in contact at all. So like I know that that was truly God. It's just been cool to like experience that. But also, because I work from home full time, it's sometimes hard to get into a routine and like to have a schedule because I don't really have anywhere to be. Like I just do whatever, which is such a blessing, but at the same time I've been having a hard time with actually getting stuff done because it's like I have so much time, but also like I don't even know where to start. So I've been trying to plan my days a little bit better and just have some structure. And that's really helped. And then it's Tuesday right now, so like this past weekend was pretty chill. We went to breakfast with my in-laws. So like doing little stuff like that with them, it's just been really fun, and I'm just so thankful because yeah, just like the relationship that we have with them, it's truly amazing. And yeah, like they're just such great people. But yeah, we went to breakfast with them and then some of our other friends, and then we literally just laid in bed all day and like bed rot because we've just been so busy that we just needed a day to do that, and it was raining outside too, and so it was just like perfect. And then on Sunday, we actually went to church with one of my friends that I met on Instagram actually at the beginning of this year. They also just recently moved here. So it's been like crazy how we even got connected, but it's been fun getting to know her and her family even better. And it was cool going to church with them. Um, and it's also just crazy how similar we are. Like it feels like we're kind of like sisters. But yeah, we went to church with them. We're planning on visiting other churches within the next few weeks just to kind of like see what there is and like see what church fits us best. Because I feel like that's important. Now, I know that there's not going to be a perfect church, but at the same time, we just want to like go visit other churches instead of just like going to one and being like, okay, this is the one that we're going to. We just want to like just see and visit other churches. So, yeah, we're planning on doing that within the next few weeks. And then this past week, so we're actually, me and Jackson are in the process of starting a business doing social media for different businesses and brands and people locally, like around us, but then also people like virtually. It's just a job that like you're able to do no matter where you are, I guess. Just doing social media full time for like other people, and then also doing like planning events within those businesses. We're kind of teaching businesses how to host events, that way they can do it on their own and like to meet new people, but also to like get their business out. I just thought like that would just be so cool, because with moving here especially, it just makes me so aware and realize like how important community really is. And so I want to allow like businesses to experience that as well. So we're finishing up the final touches with that and then hopefully launching that really soon, hopefully within this next week. So I'm really excited to like share more with you guys about that. But yeah, I'm just like so excited. And I thought it's like the perfect job for me because I'm already doing that for myself. So I might as well do that for other people because that'll also give me some more things to do, I guess. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. With that being said, again, the hard thing about having your own business is that it's definitely up and down with like finances. It's not really a stable income, especially when you're just starting. And so it's easy to like worry, like, how are we going to pay for rent? And like, how are we going to pay our bills? How are we going to get gas? Like, how are we going to get groceries? But at the same time, it's really teaching me to just let go and like surrender and just believe and trust fully that Jesus will work it out. And like, he's already provided us with so much. So why would he stop now? Um, so yeah, just knowing that just gives me so much reassurance and peace that no matter how tight money feels or like no matter what Jackson and I are going through, we know that like we have a God who is over everything and like he always makes a way for us. He does really cool things when you least expect it. At least that's what I have experienced. But yeah, overall, life has just been so sweet here, and we are so thankful that we are like settled in and we have like adjusted and all of that. Um, and yeah, we're just literally living our dream life. Like this is my dream house. I'm with my dream husband. Like it just feels like life is literally a dream and I'm so thankful. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that my life is perfect. Like we still go through things all the time. Like our marriage is not perfect. We still struggle with things on a daily basis. But at the same time, there's so much beauty to be found in the little everyday moments of life. It's normal to have bad days, but don't let the bad days overtake the good. I actually just made a video about that because I feel like it's so easy to do, but it's so important to be aware of that and intentional about that because it's easy to just like sulk in all of the bad and negative things going on. Um, and I really used to struggle with that really bad, but I've kind of just learned that there's always going to be bad things. So I just need to be intentional about seeing the good and then like eventually the good will kind of overtake the bad. Um so yeah, I just wanted to like share that with you guys. My hope is that each episode serves as a fresh brew to your soul. Just reminding you that you're not alone in what you go through. Life can feel very lonely and dark and scary sometimes, but also we have um, a God who is over everything and like who really cares for us and loves us so much. Um, and again, no matter how dark and scary your day may be, just know that like you are so loved and things can only get better. But also just try your best to see the good in each day, even if it's as small as an iced coffee, or even the sun shining on your face. But even if it's raining, just have a cozy day at home. Or, yeah, like there's just so much beauty in the everyday rhythms of life. But we just have to be able to open up our eyes to see, um, especially when it's like scary and dark and lonely. So I've been doing this thing called latte moments, and it's just like joyful things or like happy things in my life. So I'm gonna share some with you guys, and then please comment yours down below because I always love to hear, or like read them. But some of mine would be coffee or matcha. Trying new recipes. I've been loving like baking and cooking recently. Walking with Jackson, going to the beach, decorating. I love decorating and like thrifting. Um, and honestly, just hanging out with people that I love. It's just been really fun. Definitely comment yours down below because I just love reading them. But I'm really thankful that you took time to listen to this, and I'm really thankful that you're here. Um, and yeah, I just hope that this episode encouraged you in some way. I hope that I shared everything that I wanted to share. I feel like I struggle with like having a bunch of thoughts and ideas beforehand, and then whenever I sit down to actually record, I feel like my mind is just like all over the place. But this is just a little peek inside my life lately, And yeah, I hope that you guys are doing well. So, Lord, I just thank you for today. I thank you for each listener that is listening to this right now. No matter what they're going through, I just pray that you're with them right now and that you just remind them that they're so loved. And we are just thankful for you, Lord, and all that you're doing, not only in my life, but in so many others' lives too. We love you and we thank you. And I pray that um, everyone has a good rest of their day, no matter how their day started. I just pray that you're with them and that it's clear that it's you. And in your name, amen. So, with that being said, I pray that your coffee is either hot or iced, your heart is full, and you feel incredibly loved. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.